while they only forced 22 turnovers. So that means there was a negative 17 turnover ratio, and normally you don't see a team go 12-1 with that type of statistic right there.
No, normally teams like that are 4-7.
Exactly. Mark Agnew gives to the second man through, and this time Frank Burdick will not go 71 yards. He goes 3 yards up to the 35-yard line. Mike Lloyd in the tackle along with Neil Johnson, defensive end. They've got some big boys from Mahnomen. Take a look at that offensive line.
Been very impressed with the way Jackson's defensive line is holding their ground. I think it's the haircuts.
Second down, 7 yards to go. He gives to Burdick, and this time he has a little more running room. He'll pick up another 3 yards.
And Jackson runs that 4-4 defense, which means that they have 4 down linemen, and then they have 4 linebackers. And for those of you who don't know a lot about defensive fronts and defensive sets, a 4-4 is very difficult to block for an offensive lineman because the defensive linemen are always in the gap. And there's an uncertainty. Should I block the down lineman or should I go after the linebacker?
It's third down, 4 yards to go. The fake pitch, and they give to Burdick. Burdick is stopped. He tried to spin out of the tackle, but he only picks up 2 yards. Dave Masick, the defensive tackle, the first man to meet him. And we have a man down on the field from Mahnomen, and looks like he's just a little shaken up on the play. Well, both of these communities have brought some pretty big crowds. This is a very big deal for these small communities to come to the Dome. A lot of these kids probably have never been to the Dome. As we take a look at the play again.
Burdick coming in. He got hit. Oh, right there. I bet that's Burdick that's down a little bit. He got the wind knocked out of him.
And let's hope it's nothing serious. We were talking about the factor of coming down here and what it means to a community. I imagine it's hard to describe how fired up these communities are.
It's very, very exciting to have a football team be representative for your community, and of course it brings a lot of community pride. It was a lot of fun to announce in the earlier game, in the C game, about the shoes that had been purchased for the football team, especially for the Dome. What an outstanding thing that the community leaders and business people got together and did for that team. And they're going to feel that support, and creates a lot of community pride and goodwill.
And right now, the main concern for Mahnomen, the fate of Frank Burdick, who has been superb here in the early going. 22 seconds remaining in the first quarter, and he has over 100 yards on the day. As you see, head coach Frank Bauman, or Ken Bauman, rather, talking over the sideline, and even the fans from Mahnomen are hoping their super sophomore is all right. And it almost looked like he's getting off and on his own power now. It looked like he took a helmet right in the old breadbasket.
Yes. Yeah, I think he had what we call the breadbasket position, where you've got your knees tucked and you can't breathe and you feel stupid, but you have to just let your body take its course and get your breath back.
Did that ever happen to you? You ever get that, the wind knocked out of you?
Yes, it did, and I felt stupid.
Scott Shinborn is the man that came in to replace Frank Burdick. And there's a fourth down situation. It's going to be 4th and 3, a pickup of 1 on the play for Burdick. And we'll have to see here if Mahnomen is going to punt. Mahnomen averages 24 points a game while giving up 10 points a game. A strong finisher. They've outscored their opponents 51-13 in the fourth quarter, and that is the end of the first quarter. Mahnomen has the lead here in the Class B title game, 7-0 over Jackson. We'll be back in a minute. Let's go down to the field to Ed Cairo.
All right, Joe, you know, you fellows have been up there talking about shoes and communities buying shoes for their kids and one thing and another. Now, there are obvious differences in philosophy. Take a look at what the Jackson players are wearing. Anything they please to wear. Apparently their coach has just said, do whatever's comfortable, whatever you feel is going to release well enough on this artificial turf to keep you from ankle and knee injuries, and just go for it in your old Adidas's. Guys, back up to you.
Well, Ed, I wonder if any of those kids have one of those nice lucrative contracts that those shoe companies give out. I'll tell you what, these kids can play on whatever they want to right now because they're just thrilled to be here playing on the turf of the Dome.
Well, they had opportunity, Ed, to go down and practice twice at South Dakota State, this Jackson team. So they've had a little experience on artificial turf.
And Agnew will now punt it. Wacker is deep for Jackson on 4th down. Big rush is on, and he just gets it off, Agnew. And it rolls out of bounds, and they're going to mark that. They're going to spot that ball on the 43-yard line of Jackson. So Jackson will have good field position when they take over.
There's a case where the punter had the opportunity to collect a penalty, and he held back a little bit on his kicking, and he may have been able to pick up 15 yards or getting the ball back.
It was an 18-yard punt, the ball on the 43-yard line. Wade Wacker, who is a junior, hands off up the middle, and the going is tough. The big defense from Mahnomen is awfully tough to run on up the middle, but it's a pickup of 4 hard-fought yards by Jeff Brown.
Byron Beardshe again making the stop. You know, you talked earlier about Coach Wacker not working on special teams. You don't have to when your son is or has all the special teams in his own person.
That's about it. He's the punter. He returns punts. Wacker will put it up, and Wacker has his man. It's a beautiful pass, and the referee shields the defender. The referee got right in the way of number 21. John Littleberg caught the pass, but the referee got right in the way of Kevin Hedstrom, who tried to make the tackle. I'm sure we'll pick it up on the replay. And that was one smart play by John Littleberg, the flanker.
Very, very, very smart. He's coming across. He makes a wonderful out move. And as we mentioned in an earlier game, the receiver's tendencies wanted to go to the flag. He goes right to the sideline. Here you see the official getting in the way, making a great block, probably picking up 15 or 20 yards for Jackson.
Back to live action. Wacker wants more. He swings it out. And Andy Lundblad, but the pass was a little off its mark. That was intended for Travis Pierce.
I'm just amazed that that does not happen more often. It's a very, very rare occasion, and a tribute to these officials who know the game and are able to get out of the way. There was a case where it just got on top of him before he could backpedal fast enough.
I'll tell you what, John Littleberg is no dummy. He used that. It's 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The ball on the 22. Wacker running the option. A flag is down. Wacker down to the 15, to the 10, inside the 10, all the way to the 4-yard line. Just a little guy, but Wacker kept those legs a driving, and he is inside the 4-yard line, but a flag just may bring this one back.
It seemed like the offensive team had that feeling, too. Illegal shift. The offensive team kind of had that feeling. It seemed like they stood up, and Wade Wacker was the only one who said, I'm going to keep going.
That's a tough one because that was a big pickup. It was a pickup of 18 yards, and they'll bring that back another 5 yards, so they're switching about 23 yards on that play, one particular play.
Now, that was the 23 yards right there.
Illegal motion on the offense. 2nd down. Put her down.
See how things evened up? The official just gave Jackson 20 yards and took back 23 now.
That's right. That's the last time he'll ever let Littleberg run in his way. On 1st down, on 2nd down, I should say, he'll put it up. He has his man wide open down to the 5-yard line. They get it back. Travis Pierce. They'll mark it at the 6.
Travis Pierce, the senior. Very, very nice play, a nice route. Running down the field. Now, he does what he's supposed to do. He heads towards the flag. It's called a flag route. Run down towards the middle and make an in move to the post and then out to the flag. There's a wide open area in the zone. Nice catch. Nice job hanging onto the ball.
And it was a good pitch by Wade Wacker. The ball now on the 6-yard line. 1st down, goal to go. Full house backfield. The fake give. No, the give is up the middle, and it's a touchdown by Bruce Johnson. A 6-yard burst. And we've got ourselves a ball game. Jackson's on the board, 7-6. Mahnomen leads, and now Jackson will come in for the extra point.
Bruce Johnson rolled along. He picked his blocks nicely. Usually a back like that will want to hit hard, but you watch him. He takes a little slow action coming in. Now he spots the hole and starts to accelerate right there. Lowers his shoulder and heads right for the end zone. Good job.
And guess who the kicker is for Jackson? Wade Wacker. We have a tie game, 7-7. And now Jackson is on track. They started off rather sluggishly. But we have a tie game. We have a timeout, too, with the score 7-7 and 10:40 remaining in the half. We'll be back right after this timeout. We have a tie score, and there's very good news for folks from Mahnomen because number 27, Frank Burdick, is back in the ball game.
He's one of those players that they put their whole offense around, and of course you can see how effective he is by his running. His last drive by Jackson, 5 plays, 58 yards, and short scoring time. So we've got two very explosive teams here, Joe.
We could have another high-scoring game, and so far that has been the norm here at Prep Bowl 85. Bruce Johnson scoring the last touchdown to tie it up. And there's the kick, and Frank Burdick will field it. No, it'll go to number 44, and that's Tim Miller. And Miller is out over the 25-yard line, taken down at the 27. 18-yard kickoff return.
Flag down on the field.
The Zebras will meet to talk it over. Clipping. Mahnomen will have to start this drive out deep in their own territory.
We're seeing a few more mistakes in this game than we saw in our previous game that we had the opportunity to broadcast. Some of these mistakes are being forced by very, very heads-up defensive play. Good, strong hitting. I've seen 2 helmets end up on the turf here, come flying off people's heads.
And they'll drive that ball all the way back to the 13-yard line.
On the offense, on the return, first down.
A clipping penalty. They'll mark off 15, and the ball is back now on the 13-yard line. First down, 10 yards to go for Mark Agnew, the junior quarterback who started since his freshman year. Well, he gets down low in that crouch. He'll go drop straight back, looking for a long one. Has his man, but he throws it a little bit too far. Intended for Tim Miller. On the defense, Jim Reed, the linebacker.
Jim Reed did an exceptional job. He was a long ways away from that receiver, but he headed off for a deep sprint, and he was going to be back there in case the ball was underthrown. He would have been in play for an interception or to make the tackle had the other defender fallen down. Good heads-up defensive play.
Second down, 10 yards to go. The give to Burdick. Up the middle, Burdick has 3, make it 4. He is so quick.
It's hard to keep him under 2 yards, isn't it?
It certainly is.
For a sophomore, we'll have to send our University of Minnesota coaching staff to his house here very, very shortly. Make sure that we get in the door soon.
He doesn't have great size, but boy, he has that quickness and speed. He's 5'11", 175 pounds as a sophomore, but he could grow. He's awfully young.
Mr. and Mrs. Burdick, if you are listening, we think your son is wonderful at the University of Minnesota.
No recruiting. It's against violations up here. The handoff goes to Tim Miller, and Miller finds the going rather tough. He's stopped for little or no gain. Neil Johnson in on the tackle. You talk about that. Some of these players being recruited by maybe a Division II school or even a Division III school. What's it like for a young kid that age to go through the recruiting battles? We hear about the guys that Gophers are going after. It's got to be awfully tough.
It's tough. It's very, very heady. You get excited, and in many cases it forces guys to grow up a little too soon, but they have to make a decision.
Agnew gets off a good punt. Wacker will try to return it. It drives him all the way back to the 40. He's up to the 45, the 50. Driven out of bounds now at the 48-yard line.